2001 Fat Boy to take apart the assembly, the hand control assembly, enough to access the cables, the throttle cable and the return cable. There's two screws, one here and one here, and they both take a 1/8 inch Allen head. So we take these two screws out and we'll be able to disassemble the hand control and access our cables. The process of applying the spray is actually pretty easy, but to show you where it goes is a little bit more difficult. So see this one cable here, right, the return cable, and you follow that straw, and that is the peg that it goes into right here in the housing. Okay, now so from there down to the return cable, and then the throttle cable, that's the peg here for the throttle cable. If you can move that housing up just a little bit more down this way, and that's going to go down this way. Now we're going to go ahead and twist this a little bit so you can see it moving, and then hopefully get a better idea of it. So from here, see there, I'll do it one more time. This is probably a better angle in here. It's hard to see because there's so much chrome, but so there's our return line. As I twist this, right, you're going to start, keep that up. You're going to start seeing, see the throttle cable peg right there. So those are the areas that we want to spray our lubricant on, because it will work its way down as we start twisting all the way down through the rest of the cable. And I'd rather do it this way than take it all out through here that you see on other videos, because as we twist it, it's going to work its way through the system here. Okay, so if I do it generously, because this cable lube is pretty cheap, you probably want to get your head out of the way. This cable lube is pretty cheap, right? And the other thing you want to keep in mind is that you want to be very cautious with these buttons. They could accidentally slip out. So when we get all the way down here, this is the main thing that you want to lube down in here, right? And hold it for like a 3 count. And again, I use this very liberally because this lube is not that expensive. Right? Make sure, however, that you're using a specific cable lube and not just some general lubricant. I only need a little shot here where those pins go. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the throttle, okay, which goes down this way. I'm going to get it right down in there. You have to move your finger. Okay, that's good. I'm going to get it right down in there. I'm going to hold it for several seconds. They say a 3 count. I do it even further than that. All right, but then the upper part of the cable, I just give it a little shot here. If you can see through there. All right, and also up in here. I just give it a good shot. Right, one more time for good measure. Okay, so now we've got the upper portions lubricated so nothing snaps at the top, and then also the lower portions lubricated. And we didn't have to take this assembly out completely, taking a chance on the buttons or readjusting the angle on the grip or anything like that. And we didn't have to go through the process of taking out this component here and then having to reset it back. Very simple, very easy. And that is the throttle and the return cables. Next we'll do our clutch cable. Lubing a clutch cable is very easy. We're not taking apart anything. What we're going to do is we're going to have a buddy pull the clutch lever back, and you can see in here we can get right up into that hole. I turn the wheel all the way to the right as much as I can. Get right up into that hole, and then we're going to spray for a good 3 seconds. I'm going to probably do a little bit more than that. The only other thing I'm going to do, I know a bunch of fluid ran down here, so I'm probably going to do it, but if the fluid wasn't running down here, I would actually be spraying a little bit extra in there, but that's fine, a ton of it ran out. And then just work the clutch lever back and forth to kind of make sure it all goes down there. And now that we've lubed both sides, the throttle, the return, and the clutch lever, going to go ahead and take it for a ride to make sure that you're working those cables and getting all that lubricant throughout the system all the way towards the bottom.